This video is going to show how to seam the shoulders on the holiday top. And the shoulders are the first thing you should seam. Generally, the order for finishing is the shoulders, pick up the neckline if any, then sew the sleeves, if there were sleeves, to the shoulders, and then the side seams in the sleeves. But for this one, because we don't have sleeves, we will do the shoulders, the neck, the side seam, and then the armholes. And so to seam an edge like this, and you could have always done a 3-needle bind off, but I kind of prefer binding off. And this is a horizontal mattress stitch. I insert my needle on one side of the piece into the center of a stitch and then into the center of the next stitch. And if you recall, the stitch itself looks like a V. The space between looks like an upside down V, and you want to make sure that you're seaming in the center. Now notice I'm not using the same yarn to seam this. That's because mohair, not the greatest thing to seam with, and certainly the sequin thing, not the greatest thing to seam with. So I have found some white yarn that I happen to have, but if I didn't have that, I could go to a needlepoint store and buy some needlepoint thread. I go into the center of one, come out through the center. Okay, and then I do the same thing on the other side. Into the center, out through the center. Into the center, out through the center. And on my blog, if you need more details for this, I've got, diagrams and stuff. Into the center, out through the center. In, out, in, out, in, out. And I repeat this until I'm done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing because I'm only dealing with 12 stitches here, and that's not that long. In and out. Seems like a lot more than 12 stitches, doesn't it? But that's partially because you're going into the same stitch. Now this provides a very firm seam, and this fabric, despite looking lighter than air, actually is kind of heavy, so not a bad idea. And I'm almost done. Now when you use this technique, you want to make sure you have the same number of stitches on each piece. It kind of does not work if you have more than, if you don't have the exact same number. Now I'm done, and what I do to finish it is I hold one end and I hold the other and I pull tight, and it's seamed. And we'll be picking up stitches along this fairly soon.